And hey, everybody, it's Monday, and you know what that means? It's Toy Chats, folks, with Dre, King Bob, Smitty, and today we have the mistress of misters, Mister Mento. Yes, I know that was weird, but it's been a weird time going into today, so I like him. I like it. How are you doing today, sir? What's going on?
Oh man, I'm good. It's been just staying busy. I just have been blessed to have plenty of projects to keep myself going. It's been more late nights, less sleep, but it's kind of like everything I've wanted it to be. So I'm always reminding myself, like, yep, this is what I wanted. So
that's awesome. I have that exact same lamp. I'm staring at the lamp you have. I have that lamp, just so you know.
I'm in. This used to be the Mrs. Eyelashes room. Well, I guess it still kind of is. She does those fake eyelash extensions. So I've kind of slowly overtaken it. Like the whole other side is a bunch of like toys. We're getting ready to move, so things are in complete disarray.
Oh, dude, I know that feeling. When we got the four of us here. It's my 12-year-old, my wife, me, and the almost 2-year-old.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
So yeah, when we're staying right now, we're staying here in our house currently, but we're going to be looking to get out of this townhouse and move into a house next year sometime. So
nice.
Wow. And that's we're like,
well, I know that whole house hunt is crazy right now.
It is, and a bunch of my friends work in the market, so it's like they're trying to keep me apprised of everything. So It's kind of cool. It's cool.
Yeah, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Facts, it really is. Coming from New York, living where I lived, it was always that I got a lot of jobs by knowing people. Because I knew this person that knew somebody that had like, hey, I know the HR manager. Go talk to them.
That's right.
That's how it is everywhere now.
It really is
simple.
Oh, we got Colton in the room. We got Ghosty. Hey, everybody.
Cool. What's happening, everyone? Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys on Mondays, and it's the only reason we are late, Ghosty, is because of me. I had some dad duties, and I had to stop and get dinner for the family. They're eating it right now. My dinner is literally right here. But I'm not that hungry right now.
It's getting cold.
Oh, no, it's fine. It ain't gonna bother me. I'm used to eating cold food. When I had to feed the baby and it's like, like the wife is eating and she has to eat cold food, it's like I always am the last one to eat too. So all good. It's all gravy. So, Mento, I want to know. We're here to talk about me, but this is your spotlight. And I cannot take it from you. I take it all the time, but I cannot take it from you tonight. So my question to you is, sir, please tell me about you. Like, we want to know what got you started. Like, what got you into the whole art community? Like, talk about it.
Well, I mean, really, it hasn't been a long time. Like I really, let's see, I started using my Instagram to promote my art. Like, well, let me backtrack. Really, I've always been I worked a lot. I always worked 80-hour weeks, just work. I did bail bonds for 10 years. And then after that, I was doing car dealership stuff. So like, I was always just the stranger that slept with mom on Sundays. Like that was just my role. And when COVID came around, I was doing fleet sales for Ford. So obviously all those businesses stopped buying trucks right away. And my job kind of like that whole career just fizzled up. So I ended up taking like a year and a half off. And while I had that time, my wife, actually, she was really good about it. She's like, hey, this is your chance to like do something. Like if you want to try something, you want to do something different. Like this is kind of the only time you have a window to do it before, you got to get back out there and get to work. So I had been watching, I came across Steady Craftsman on YouTube and some of his videos. He's got like that real soft Creole drawl. And I got really sucked into his videos and then just like browsing Reddit and stuff. And like, I came across a few other artists on Instagram, and that's when I started really like thinking like, hey, maybe I could do something like this. So started watching YouTube tutorials on how to use Blender and download a Blender on an old cruddy laptop. And my first sculpt, I was using the laptop, and then, everything you just kind of kept learning and learning and learning. It's like, oh, you need to use at least a computer or a tablet. And so I slowly started amassing some equipment. I got a 3D printer for my birthday year and a half ago. My wife got that for me, and that kind of really kicked everything off, because then I could take, these crude sculpts I was making and then have them and hold them physically in my hand. And I think that really helped me to continue learning a lot of the digital sculpting. And I still have so much more to learn, But really, it was just this strange culmination of like, I lost my career. I had a little bit of time, and I never even for a second stopped to think like, man, I put in all that effort to be running these car dealerships and stuff. And I mean, in hindsight, like it was all a waste. Like it got just taken away from me. But it helped me realize like I never wanted that. I was never trying to be. That's not my passion. You know, like yeah, I could sell cars, sure, but I was never trying to be, you know, the manager of the big dealership, and that's not my personality. And so I'm just blessed that I was able to, in the right time, and I had the right support, where you know, I could just focus time on learning something that I was interested in. I've always been like artistic, but I've never given myself an opportunity to explore it. You know, it was always like, nah, that's, you know, that's like video games. Like I don't have time for that. Like I got to be paying the bills or whatever. And I mean, it was easier to pay the bills when I was working that much. Don't get me wrong, but nothing else was easier. Like I wake up happy. I wake up excited. I'm always eager to just like get into whatever the next project is, and without any expectations, but just like putting it out there. And that was a big thing too, was getting over myself. Like I never use Instagram, social media, none of that, you know. Like I had to really stop myself from not sharing, and by sharing and then allowing people to give you criticisms and allowing people to show you support, you start believing in yourself more. And then before you know it, you're kind of like this little ball of confidence when you're in your little art world, you know.
Oh, I did the truth. That's how this kind of started for me. I know I had gone through some real bad times back in 2014, 2015. I was, you know, like I had been literally was married for 10 months, and the woman I was with decided to end our marriage by cheating on me.
Oh, you kidding?
And then, bro, we lost our house. I was living with my best friend, who is like my sister, and I love her to death. And I had a friend from elementary school that he and I have been in contact for a long time. And he was like, you want to do YouTube? What do you need? And I was like, I need a camera. That's it. He's like, send me a camera and I'll think about it.
Right.
Next day, I get an email from him. Hey, what's your address? I send him my address. 2 days later, camera shows up and he says with a note saying, go follow your passion.
Yeah, do it.
And I did. And now it's like, I've been doing this on and off. But then when I met Bob, Smitty, and the guy who helped found the Nerd Dungeon, JC, we did that too. Like Bob and I recently just ended our personal channels, and we're just like, we're going to throw all our effort into here.
Yeah.
And it's just so much more fun. And Toy Chats, this is really new for us because we've all been doing YouTube for at least 4 years.
Is that right?
Yeah, but the thing is, the desire, except for Smitty. Smitty's been a longtime fan of ours, and he's recently just got on camera because if it wasn't for him and his connections into the custom toy community and just his friendship, it was like, you know, he really was supportive of all of us coming together and saying, hey, I want to make sure you guys are all doing this.
That's awesome.
I'm going to come on. And like you said, it's having a supportive person in your life. My wife is extremely supportive. She says she has 3 kids. She says she has 3 kids. I'm the third one.
She does.
You know.
She does.
But you know, you know, it's that community, and these are all things that I never foresaw, or that I never stopped to consider. Like those were things I was missing in my life. You know, you're making superficial relationships at you know, at work when you're selling cars to clients and stuff. It's like you're almost faking friendships and stuff. And you know, so to be able to dive into the art and continue to teach myself the things that I was interested in and share them with people, then I find, you know, this community of people that we all kind of share the same ideas, and we all love what each other are doing, and we're all pushing each other to keep it up and to continue and to work together and to support each other. And so, like, you know, like I flew out, that's when I met Smitty in person in New York. We're out there at the trading card event, getting our cards signed and, you know, just having a great time. It's like, and not for a moment when I meet these people who I've never met before. See, he got himself a yes, definitely. I'm going to take care of all y'all. I'm make sure all y'all are taken care of.
Thank you. Thank you.
But, you know, it's like, it felt like family. Or like when I went to DCon in November, same thing. Like I never met any of these people in my life, but it felt like, oh, these are your people. Or even here today, like, We've never talked. We've never met face to face or nothing. But it's like it's just an energy or something. I don't know. It always feels right.
I'm gonna tell you something, and Alex and I have quickly become very tight. Like Playful Gorilla, cool he is probably one of the coolest dudes on the planet. We had him on the show. It was the longest show next to Ghosty. That was the two longest
Alex
shows.
Was long.
Alex was the
Alex was the longest.
3 hours.
He was next.
3 hours.
I believe it.
Yep.
My wife was like, "Babe, it's 11. Are you gonna stop anytime soon?" And I'm like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry. Like I totally didn't even realize."
I know it, man. I know, because he is such a personality and he is such a genuine guy, and he does get so excited, you know, and he's got a lot to talk about, and he's been doing this for a long time. And it's just another one of those important parts of the community where you have people that, you know, have been at this for a really long time, but they support guys like me who, you know, I'm coming in late. While I always joke like, oh, it's easier for me. Like he didn't have all this, you know, 3D printers and you know what I mean? Like he had to put in probably more blood, sweat, and tears than I have. But he's never, you know, bitter or sour or nothing. He's just the biggest like lover of the game, and he loves to see anybody going at it.
Yeah, he is probably one of the most positive people when it comes to seeing people become successable at this game. Like he and I talked about my daughter, because my daughter Lana, she's extremely artistic. Like she does like she plays, she sings, she tries instruments, she's like in a play. That's why I was saying she's going to be in Aladdin in another month. It's awesome. Like we have all this, and then she draws. So he was like, Dre, get her this, get her that, get her this, get her into
set
this,
her up,
try
support
this.
It, yeah.
Set her up. So what did I do for Easter? We got our Easter basket. I bought her this big ass blank sketch pad.
Good.
And said, I want you to draw in here. Like, let's see you draw. And then I want to see where things progress from here, because she's got an eye for anime. She's got an eye for things like that. So that's going to lead me to this question for you. Yeah, when they're 12, 13, this is the time. Sprinkle the seeds, man. So let me ask you, are you like, did you ever growing up or even now, like you said, video games were always in the back burner for you because of time with the career you had?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just curious, were you ever into like comic books, graphic novels?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my childhood definitely extended, you know, well into my early 30s. You know, it was, you know, whether it was video games as a kid growing up. I mean, we're always big into video games. Comic books, not as much. I always was like trying to like figure out how you can make money on comic books. Like that's kind of when it hit me. And then Pokemon cards, I was big into Pokemon cards. I remember my best friend in high school, we were really big in middle school, and then into high school, we were really big into it. And then as like we were transitioning into high school, I remember I was staying at his house and was getting a big old argument. And, you know, I had all the cards. I had the whole collection, you know, and he was on some, like, I'm growing up, I'm going into high school, I'm too cool for that stuff, you know? And I just remember he dug into me hard, and he's all, oh, you're going to be a freshman in high school Pokemon master. And then I look back and I'm like, damn, yeah, that's what I was trying to be, like the Pokemon master, bro. And I was like, you know, like you're not going to knock it out of my hands. Like, hey, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But all of that stuff I was really, really big into. I used to love to draw, you know, same things, get a big sketchbook, draw, paint, but never anything that I like was proud enough of, I guess, or anything I felt was worth like writing home about.
So you put it like on the back burner, more like you.
Oh yeah, I would I'll spend hours doing something and then I would throw it away. Like, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, I think
like Mom.
I don't think I'm the only artist that's done that, because there's, I don't know whether it's a part of you or it's like I was saying before, getting over yourself, and instead of like maybe it's like that fear of rejection, so like you're not going to put it out there, or I'll just reject it myself, and then, you know, haha, I was right.
Like
so you realize these little games you play. Yeah,
every artist I've met is the worst critic.
Right.
I mean, Evil's that way. Dougie's that way. I mean, they're like, you know, I've got Doug. I mean, the number of times Dougie, my friend D Fresh, who's done a ton of customs for me, you know, he'll be working on something, and even for other people, and he's like, dude, take a look at this. Does this look all right? Is this what? You know,
right,
like, dude, this is amazing. He's like, you sure? You sure?
right. Like, are you just feeding into it? Like, are you just being nice? Like, are you? It's hard, and I think that it's because, you know, when for me, like art, like you're taking something that doesn't exist. You know, it only exists in my mind and my perspective of the world or whatever. And then so when you're taking it and you're bringing it into, whether it's a drawing or it's a 3D model, or it's a print or a toy or a painting. Like you're taking it out of, you know, imagination and into reality. And then it's like, it's part of you. It's a representation of you. And it's just like anything else, you know, it's like, y'all are cool, but I don't want to be naked in front of you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be worried. And it's the same thing with your art. It's almost like you're like, hey, look at this, you know? But then most people are like, hey, it's beautiful.
You're 100% right. Art is when you are as an artist, and like, if you've watched any of the shows prior, you've heard us say this. Every single one of you guys is artists. When we've had Priscilla, we've had you now, we've had Alex, we have several more. We've had Colton on the show. You guys are, to me, artists. You guys just make designer toys. You guys do things, but you are artists first and foremost, which means that a deep part of your soul goes up into what you do. Because
and it shows.
You speak that, and it does show. It shows 110%. Just in hearing your story, it's like, I get it. You know, when you like, I was working a bunch of odd jobs in New York till I had to come to North Carolina where I live now.
Right.
And I had to take care of my mom, you know, and then my mom was like, she was like dying of cancer, and she turns to me and is like, you need to get your shit right, Andre. Like, you have to get your shit right. Get yourself to be a teacher. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And I did that. And I did. And yeah, it took me to get till now I'm 43. I had to do it at 33. So 10 years. I finally was like legitimately was a teacher, but like I understand what she meant. Like there was that time that I had to get there, and I see that like COVID did do a number to everybody, where there was a lot of opportunity for people to get in and do stuff.
That's what me and my wife talked about. We were very blessed, you know, because I know it was not kind to a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, it threw us, you know, its own set of hardships and everything. But, you know, on the grand scale of it, we came out, you know, better than we came into it, which is a blessing in its own. And the blessings have continued, and you get these signs from the universe constantly just lets you know, like, you're on the right path. And I just keep following that.
I'm going to say I believe that now, because everybody Smitty has introduced me to, and like Ghosty said it, he's the homie. Every single person Smitty has introduced me and Bob to, we are friends with. We talk to on the semi-regular, if not, they become regulars on our show. A la Ghosty showing up on Wednesdays, which we love him when he does. So it's Ghosty. Like, exactly. So like, it, to me, it's a show, like you said, with the community and everything else, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot more than just, hey, I'm an artist. Hey, here's my art. You know,
because that's boring.
And I think that a lot of us, that whether we're artists ourselves or we're collectors or we're just fans of it, or maybe we're playing with the idea of, hey, you know, and art comes in tons of different forms, you know, like whether you could draw or you can't draw, you could sculpt, you can't sculpt, whatever it is, like what you guys do. This is art in its own. It's entertainment, it's informative, but it's art, and it has a touch of yourself to it. You know, I've done a few of these different lives, and they all have a bit of a different vibe to them. And because just as much as my art is, you know, a piece of me, these videos and these lives that you guys do, that's a piece of you, you know, and it's archived, it's saved, it's there. It's real.
Yeah, my kids could always watch it. You know, I love it that like I can literally have my family's like they'll sit down and you'll see them pop through. Like at some point, the geek baby's she's gonna show around up here. She always does. The wife is gonna walk through. You know, and they always do, and it's something that I get happy about, because it's me sharing my family. You know, it's sharing my, like you said, bearing a part of my personal life here.
Right, it's real. It's like we in your house, you know.
Yeah,
it's like funny how you mentioned that though, like how you know, the kids could watch the videos. I was at work, it was about 2 weeks ago, and my son, he's 10, Mento Jr., he texts me, and it's a screenshot of his YouTube, because you know he's 10, so he's always on YouTube, and it was my interview I did with Marva Toys, Projector Tripulante. And somehow, you know, the algorithm fed it to his phone. So he's, you know, browsing his YouTube, and then he sees my face pop up. So he screenshots it and he sends it to me. He's all, this is you. And I was like, yeah, that's me. He's all, how cool. And I was like, yeah, I guess that's pretty cool.
That is, dude. That's going to feel awesome. You know, your son. It's like, hey, guess what? Dad was on YouTube, and like,
has he found the other streams that you've been on?
Not yet, thankfully. Thankfully,
they might be blocked because of his age limitation.
If the algorithm gets too smart, we're in trouble.
Exactly. So these are showing up on, we don't need them to see those other streams yet anyway.
They're behind paywalls. I don't think you'll get there.
Exactly. So I'm curious. So you are so relatively new to this game that we call the designer toy and the designer, like the art market. Like, what have you created a world similar to like how comic book artists do, or like video games design? Like, have you designed something that like your characters live and breathe in, or is it just like art that just kind of lives and breathes out of you?
I think it's more the latter. Like, I look at like what Alex has done, what Playful Gorilla's done, like with his real universe building, and that's really been his kind of his plan of attack, and he's really come at it from a really big picture. And mine, I can't say that I love the idea of universe building, and I wish I could say that my brain operated in that way, that I could kind of see it from so far back and down, and kind of be the creator of it. But for me, it's been kind of more just like they exist, within. I mean, maybe it's a representation, just kind of my own chaotic universe as it is. Like, there is no rhyme or reason to. It's like, I just made you, now you're here, and you're gonna mean different things to different people, and some pieces have just really resonated with a lot of people for whatever reasons, whether it was the colors, or it's just the way that the models come. I've kind of like developed a signature style, which I feel blessed about, that because that's one of those things that you can't really sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna hash out my style today. Like, this is gonna be how you look at a piece and it's mine. Like, you can't really do that. It has to come somewhat organically, and so I've been blessed that I've been able to develop something that is kind of instantly recognizable as my own, but can transfer to other pieces and custom pieces, things like that.
So what's your what? Oh, go ahead, Smitty.
I was going to say. So there was a reason why I picked for the Instagram post this morning, or this afternoon, reminding people to come check you out.
Yeah.
There was a reason I picked the donut, because that's your initial character that kind of got everybody's attention.
It really is.
And you developed into like a whole. I love the line, even though I don't have any of them yet. The donut, the long john, the Timbits,
the whole set. Yeah.
But I mean, unfortunately, I only have 3 pieces. One is the card I showed, and then the other ones is the collab with Evil Ghosty.
Yes.
But you guys can see it with these 2 pieces.
I love that Patron bottle.
The face is his signature.
It's very much the unibrow.
Yes, you see that, and you're like, that's a Mento piece,
right?
Or that's a Mento collab.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's so simple. You know what I mean? Like, it really is so simple, and it's not like I'm some Picasso-like artist and I had this like different world. Like, no, it's like this just kind of how things hashed out, and then it's kind of grown more on me, and then it's starting to represent more, and like. Yeah, it's just very organic, but it's nice that I can kind of continue to grow that line of pieces and not have to be too direct with how everything's tied in together into this universe. It's like, oh well, if it's got that face, whether it was on a slice of pizza or a donut or a ghost, or a bottle, it really transfers over.
Well, and that's the other thing. Right now, you've got the collabs with Plastic Pizza.
Yes,
that have gone crazy, because
that's been
I was in a meeting
project.
And didn't make the one stream on when it started.
Right.
Their collab 2 weeks ago, 3?
Yeah, that dropped not last Friday, but the Friday prior.
Friday before. Yeah, sold out. I got on like 30 minutes after it dropped, was already sold out.
Yeah,
it sold out really like what, 10 or 15 minutes. It was.
Yeah, I want to say like about 10 minutes, and that was 25 pieces. And that was our first kind of like foray with the network app. And so I really just wasn't sure what to expect, and I'm always just kind of hesitant. Like, I'm the last person to think like, oh, these are gonna all sell out. Like, it's just not where my mentality's at when I'm making pieces, and it's not my end goal. I mean, obviously it is my end goal is to, make these and to sell them. But, for me, it's like, I always look at it like, hey, if I got stuck with 25 of these, like it would look pretty cool on my shelf. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to be I would be sad that nobody bought my stuff because nobody wanted it enough or, whatever. But, when I got 25 glowing pizzas in my garage, I'm like, that's pretty cool too.
It definitely could be, but I think it definitely is a good feeling. And I know Smitty has said this, and Bob and I've talked about this too. It's a cool feeling to like turn and look and see a piece that we have, either in a pin, a sticker, or like a piece of artwork.
Right.
Where I can like turn around and look at it, and it just sparks that memory, or that
exactly
the positive feeling.
Oh, you got yourself a glorable.
Yeah.
Well, that's from
toys.
That's
he wasn't there. He couldn't make the one drop, so I picked it up for him.
I got lucky enough to let me see. Sorry, I know I thought maybe it was close to me. I got lucky enough that I won one in a giveaway. I think it's like an FDM 3D printed one, but it glows in the dark. And so me and him have been chatting because the idea behind those glorable, like that. Yeah. And the idea behind them is they multiply and they're everywhere. And so I don't know if you know this, but now that you have one in your house, you'll start to find more because I found a couple more in my house. And I think me and Fix Temple are going to be talking about maybe let me show you the glorbles that I found that started appearing in my house here. Maybe we'll give you a little sneak peek of that here in the next day.
Ooh.
So, we're always, that's another thing, man, is I love working with all the other artists. I love reaching out to artists and when artists reach out to me.
Bob's they're coming. Doing the same thing I am like,
it's coming. The Mister Mento Fix Temple Glorable is on its way. and he's got so we're doing a cool little two-way thing where we'll have a Glorable donut coming also. So we're going to have a nice little two-way thing that we'll start teasing here pretty soon. My whole goal was to get past that network drop 2 weeks ago. And then, I have some test printing to do, but the model's done.
I've seen an early preview of that, and that is going to be yes, that is very sick looking.
It's going to be some really cool stuff, and it's fun to have lots of different projects working, lots of different moving parts, and being able to push each other, to where it's you really want to do justice on somebody's platform, and then they really want to do justice on your platform. So some of the pieces I've received from other artists, other donuts and stuff that I've received, those are priceless to me. When I can look over and I see, a Surge and Destroy donut, I see a GDM Originals donut, a Sir One donut, a Resin Rookie donut, all these donuts, and some of them still working my way through the whole Breakfast Club, and they are coming, and they will be available for everyone to see. It's just exciting, man.
Hey, Dirty
I love it.
Thanks for stopping in.
So, Smitty, do you have anything? Since I always feel like I take over, and I feel like, I want you and Bob to get a chance to kind of probe his mind, ask him some questions. He's ready.
I know you're working on a collab with Snack Rabbit.
Yes.
That I'm dying for.
I love it. He's like, wait, I got you.
I mean, I've seen Snack Rabbit's pouches.
Before. That looks dope.
Yes, so these are her sauce packets that she's done. Actually, here, let me just grab them. She's done a hot sauce one, and then she did a duck sauce
sauce. I saw the duck sauce and was like,
and so when she did the hot sauce one, this was I reached out to her right away. This is actually when I first learned of Snack Rabbit, and we've grown to become really good friends, which has been a blessing. And then she did the gold ones with Sauce Drops Toys, which I thought I missed out on, but thankfully she took care of me on that. And so then we had been talking, and it's been in the works for quite a while, but it's coming up very close. And so I went ahead and I redesigned their double cast. So I redesigned the flames into a frosting type pink. And then she's got some in blue and a dulce de leche green or a brown. So keep your eyes peeled because they're coming. I know she's actively working on them.
Yeah, I saw the
like
duck
that.
sauce and the hot sauce. Well, I had seen the hot sauce because of the duck sauce drops.
Right.
And couldn't get one of the duck sauce drops.
They go
and
fast.
I was like, oh, they went so fast.
Everything she touches goes really quick.
And then when I saw when I saw your post on that, I was like, no,
it's coming. It's coming. I know. And it was something we ended up putting on the back burner for a while because we ran into some. Well, she ran into some issues, like just like technical issues, making it all work. And shout out to her because we hadn't talked about it for a while. And then when I went out to New York, and I was able to meet her in person the same day that I met you, Smitty, and we got to chat, and she reached in her pocket and she pulled it out, and I was just like, oh, I mean, it took my breath away. I was not expecting it one bit. And so, to be able to have one and to hold one, I'm just pumped.
That's awesome. That's such a good feeling.
Yes. So, it's great.
In addition to that, I have to know, did you apply for creatives too?
I did apply. Excellent. I did put in my application. I'm really excited. I really kicked myself because, again, not being in your own head and not stopping yourself or getting in your own way. That was one of those things where I went back and forth with myself, like, oh, should I reach out to Red? Because I did the Chunder show, Chunder Deflate and Create show for him with him last October in Brooklyn. And that show went really well, and I really loved working on that piece. And I had already known of the creatives, but I allowed, whether it's my own perspective of what things were, and I stopped myself from, reaching out to trying to be a part of that first one. And so then, of course, I knew I had to get an application to be into Series 2. I would love to do
it. Damn, like this is so cool to hear these stories. It makes me just like, damn.
Well, and that creative stuff, man, has just really taken off, and it's exposed a lot of people to a lot of artists, and it's touched into, again, that Pokemon Master kind of primitive stuff where, I mean, I knew as soon as I had one, I had to have them all. And so now I got them all, and then now I got some signed, and I'm like, now I need them all signed. And that's forcing me out of that little bubble that I stay in, and I'm messaging artists that I would have been too timid to message before, but I'm like, oh, I got to because I need this signed.
But see, that's the thing. Like I started this whole show with these two guys, and it was funny because the very first guy we had on the show was a YouTuber I'd been following for years.
Oh, okay.
And I had reached out to him, and I had this attitude of like, why am I reaching out to these people? They're up here, I'm over here.
They put
and
them
then
on the pedestal, man.
When he turned around and told me, he's like, Dre, no. He says, we're equal, bro. He's like, you can reach out to me anytime. And now he and I are very good friends. We talk pretty much on the weekly, and he's helped motivate me in a lot of ways to stay positive and stay on this path of doing this show and reaching out to artists. Because sometimes I get nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
It's tough. It's hard. Even when it gives you success, it's still hard the next time.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, no, see, it's harder the first time, easier the second time. Like asking you to come on the show, easy.
Right.
Was a little scared. I was scared. I was like, is he gonna say yes?
Right.
Is he gonna be comfortable? I mean, is he watch the show? Does he see how goofy we get? Because I do know some people are a little, but see, when you go on Booze and Buddies, once you're on Booze and Buddies, come on this show is like
right. You probably pretty safe bet at that point.
Yeah,
we're the safe. The safest out of. I mean, we have Mike in the chat.
Shout out
we have
to
Mike in the chat
Deeds.
from Dirty Deeds.
I did the Dirty Deeds show. I had a great time with those guys, and I hung out with them in California and in New York. And yeah, man, I love those guys.
Yes,
great guys.
I mean, yeah, they're a great group of guys. I watch their streams, and but that's one of the things in this community, right? So Dirty Deeds does a very similar thing to what we do, but it's not like we're taking shots at each other. In fact, Mike posted our post.
Yeah, it's all support. It's all love.
It's all supportive.
I really appreciate that too.
It's like me and King Gonga, we talk a lot, and I always mention to him, and he'll mention it right back to me, and it's that, rising tides lift all boats. And it's like, so of course, they want to see you succeed just as much as you want to succeed, because, if you do good, then I do good. And if I do good, then you do good. It's just all about kind of, hey, everybody lift each other up.
Yeah, I think that's 100% like why I love the community and why I feel so welcomed into it.
Yes.
Even though, like, for me, I like, and Smitty knows this, I love designer toys. I love the way they look.
Yeah.
But my wallet, currently, I'm not working. So my wallet.
Bro, I'm with you. I know. I mean, I've been able to amass the collection that I've amassed, but it's pricey. It's expensive.
It is.
You know?
It is. But you guys are so talented. It's not like I don't stay apprised of what you do, because I get to be fortunate enough to have these conversations. What other artists, what people can't afford, like Alex said, the best feeling is acknowledgement.
Oh yeah,
like, you don't have to buy a piece of mine to come on a show and see. And I feel so privileged, because I'm like, man, I may not be able to buy a piece, but I'm doing the one thing that will always be a memory for yourself and for me.
Right.
We're talking
experience,
and we're having that experience, and you can't ever like forsake that. Nope. You know, and it exists. It's in the
can't
ether.
Buy it. You can't sell it. You know, it's real, and it exists in, you know, it's not tangible, but it's just as real. And like myself as an artist, like how Alex said, the acknowledgement, you know, like for me, I get that same flutter when somebody shares my story or comments on my post. You know, you put three flames underneath my, maybe I'm simple, but like that shit, I love it. And I think most people do. And that's why, you know, we're out there sharing it, is that part of us is looking for the, hey, look at me. Hey, look at me, you know? But it always feels good. So whether you're buying a piece or you're supporting by just, you know, sharing or commenting or even just hitting the like on there, like we got King Bob over there with the Mento Ghosty poster, that whole set of amazing pins. Shout out to Evil Ghosty for making that a reality. Like those are things I don't have any other pins, but now I got a whole set of pins with my name on the back. Like that stuff's cool to me.
That's awesome. Is there ever, like, I don't want to say like an end goal, but is there like a partial goal of getting your stuff like in a place like a Spencer's, a Hot Topic, you know, like any of those kind of, I guess I don't want to call them specialty stores.
Yeah.
But, you know, like
you know, I don't know that I would, like, I don't have like that goal board, you know, like the picture of the Lamborghini and like the nice house and like, you know, like I don't have like, I guess a crystal clear vision of like, this is what I'm striving for. What I have found so far is that by doing what I'm doing and enjoying it, a lot of opportunities have come my way. Opportunities that if you asked me a year ago, hey, you know, if you could have anything come your way in the next year, what would it be? None of the things that have been on the list, because I would have never even imagined them. But like being able to do, you know, travel out to meet tons of people at DCon, the multiple trips I've had to New York, you know, going out there to see, I had my first gallery show at the Clutter Gallery for the Planet Rainbow Sparkles last August. And like all of those things were like seeing my art with a red dot on it at a New York gallery, like, bro, stick a fork in me, I'm done. Like I can't rightfully ask for anything more because I've already received so much. And so that's why I love an opportunity to work with other artists, you know, and to try to lend, you know, anything that I can lend to help their experience and to help their journey along just as well as I'm helping mine along. So, but if an opportunity arose to you know, have a piece available like in a retail store or something, like that's absolutely one of those bucket list things where, you know, it would be hard to walk away from. But I've had a taste of trying to work with businesses like big corporations and stuff that have reached out, and it didn't leave a great taste in my mouth. It's very different from working with a passionate artist who cares about, you know, the same things I care about. A business cares about really one thing. And
yeah,
I'm very leery of marrying those two things and also of giving up any kind of, you know, creativity, or because that's my whole goal. Like my goal wasn't to, hey, let me make a piece that I can, you know, kind of sell out. And I mean, money talks though, I guess. You know, somebody wants to license his donuts from me or something and they got a big checkbook. I mean, I'll blow with the wind and start singing a different tune. But, you know, I guess it's not the big goal.
No, I see what you're saying. I mean, I think that for me personally, I like the fact that you guys are, every artist we've had on here has had it's a limited feel.
Right.
Like they're you have to go to their website. You have to go to them personally.
That's it. With just one person, it's just one
like
guy.
And it's actually, I feel better to see the patronage come to you. That way it builds that relationship like Smitty has built with every one of the artists that we've had on here. There's always that friendship that forms that kinship. Handmade by robots, Bob and Mary. It was so funny to see Bob just jump out of his shell and like spend time with these people that have like come to love him, and Smitty, it's the same thing. And I love it because I'm naturally gregarious. I'm naturally outspoken and loud. But to see these two that are not that way, it's fun.
I'm really a very big introvert,
I know,
unless I really know people. And, and that's what's funny is like, all right, I've been in the Booze and Buddies chat for over a year following them. So there I'm comfortable. I can be me. I can joke. I can, take the shots and everything. Because it's a safe place for me because I know the people in the chat. And
for me,
and when we were at the show, we met outside because I recognized you from
the first people I saw
of the different appearances and stuff, and we were like, dude, and it was like, we hugged right out.
Well, that's the thing is, it's not like I said. I'm a salesman. Like that's what I have done for such a long time. That I can fake a friendship, or I can fake long enough to. But it's like when it comes to this stuff, I haven't met anybody I needed to fake it with. You know what I mean? Like, and it's always felt so genuine, received as well. Like it's just that you're with people. I was so excited to be there. And then to find out like, oh, that's Smitty. And it like, I can't help it. I'm going to hug you.
Dude, that's a great feeling. Cause like we've talked about this with having other artists come up, like going to meet them or like even like people like Ninjito, like Sifu.
Shout out.
Sifu is amazing. And he's right in Bob and Mai's backyard.
Ooh, that reminds me.
Ooh, is there something else we're going to get to see?
Well, I just have actually somewhere. Oh, there it is. Let me grab it.
Bob, what were you saying before?
Shout out Seafood. I got a blank one. Shout out King Gonga got me a blanquito.
Nice.
So keep your eyes peeled for something coming on that. But
it was funny. I was just saying it. I literally was just saying in my head. I was like, I gotta mention it to him and say I want to see a Mento X Ninjito.
Gonga wanted to see it happen too, and he reached out to me, and I was like, I would love to, but those blanquitos are sold out. And Gonga took care of me. That's my shout out, King Gonga. That guy's my brother from another mother. Nice. I mean, he is just another example of so many great people in this community that, you know, keeps me coming back. Like this has become my life. Like it is my life. You know, it's not like when I'm at my day job, I'm just thinking about this stuff. Period. 100% always. Like when I have extra money, like I'm trying to think ahead. Like, okay, I got to get out to 5 points. I got to get out to decon. I got to get out. You know, I got to be in a position where I can make these moves so that I can be there. Not to like further my art career in a sense, but more just because I want to be around everybody. You know, I love the vibe that I get every time, and like, it's a drug. You know, why would I not want more of that?
Oh, exactly.
So since you brought it up, are you going to 5 points?
That's the plan. I plan on going. There's a few things in the works as far as like if I'll be able to have a booth, or I guess there's like some concerns on if it's even going to happen or not.
There's still a lot of,
so there's a lot of moving parts, but yeah. I'm trying to keep myself in a position where if things line up, that I can make myself out there. Because first of all, I love New York. I fell in love with New York back when I visited for the Clutter show. I mean, I really just fell in love with New York. And so going back again last month, it just kind of reinvigorated it right back into me. Like that's kind of my vibe. I would live out there if I could. Don't get me wrong.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I got away from there. I used to. Me and Bob were both from there, and we've left. The vibe is very good. It's just too expensive.
Well, that's how it is out here. I'm in Denver, and it's the same. I mean, well, probably not the same, but I mean, it's definitely. I've been in Denver most of my life, and you know what you were getting for $100,000, you ain't getting for $500,000 now.
Oh, heck yeah!
It's crazy.
I have 2 cousins out in Denver, so yeah,
it's beautiful out here. Don't get me wrong; it's absolutely beautiful out here, and I love it out here. And I mean, realistically, we'll probably. I mean, there's no plans to leave, but again, you know, that big licenser wants to come by, cut me a big check, and catch me in a New York penthouse.
You never know. See you at Hot Topic, guys.
That's right. That's right. Go buy 2 of them. Pop a new penthouse.
Exactly. Bob, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry to cut you off.
Well, I mean, you talked about limited runs and the connection with the artist. I mean, Dre said it with the company that makes these Handmade by Robots.
Yes.
They're grassroots, but I mean, and from the day we booked them until the day we had them on last week, they've blown up like no tomorrow.
I've been seeing more and more of their stuff myself, and it's exciting.
It is, and to get down, get on that grassroots level with them and grow, watch them grow, and watch them take more of my money every time they drop. But I mean, that's the same thing with where I'm choosing to spend my money now is with people that appreciate it. They appreciate it. Josie put something on his website and I'll buy it because
well, you know where it's going and you know who it's benefiting and you know that it's like, like again, I'm one person. Like my wife, I love her to death and she supports me to death, but she ain't sanding nothing. She ain't mixing up no resin. She ain't casting nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's just me. And so, anybody that's ever messed around with what we're doing knows it's a lot of work, and it's not always easy. And so when you put something out there and it sells and you get to kind of recoup your investment, but you also get that warm little feeling inside of like somebody's, like I know what it's like to go to work and make money and you got to pay bills. And it's not like to spend, 20, 40, 50, 80, $100 on something is not an easy thing to do. So it's like, there's clearly, you really wanted it, and that shit, that's an amazing feeling that I can't equate to anything else. I just really don't know what to equate it to. So it would be tough to, sacrifice some of that for some big conglomerate deal.
Yeah.
It really would.
I think honestly, just in hearing you, it's like, and the other artists I've seen, I like where it's at. I like this community being niche.
Yeah.
Because the fact is, there's a few pieces in this house. My daughter has one of Priscilla's, which she loves. Alex blessed me. I bought stuff from Ghosty. And Bob's about to bless me with the creative stuff, the cards, because he knew I couldn't get them. I couldn't afford them, so he was like, "I got you. Don't worry about it." And I love the fact that it's just so niche, but it's such a tight community. It doesn't feel like the anime community was. Like I came up in the anime cosplay community years ago, and that community
plastic pizza
was tight, and then it became like fragmented.
Right.
So it's nice to see a community of artists and people that are all like-minded adults that are just like, hey, I'm working here. You make money. I make money. But you know what? We're building a relationship.
When I say, and we're building, it's growing too, and it is a niche little spot, but it's, I feel like it's bigger than I thought it was. And I'm continually exposed to, different, whether they're little subsets or, because Friday nights, you're going to catch me before Booze and Buddies. I'm watching Pop Shop Live. I'm catching Plastic Pizza on Pop Shop Live. If you're not tuning in on Fridays to catch them on Pop Shop Live, you're missing out because it's a party. And then it goes right into boom. I'm in Booze and Buddies watching there. And it's like, that's kind of my world. And Booze and Buddies does a good job of exposing you to artists that you're not familiar with. But also sometimes it's okay to go in that, Instagram search bar and just let shit pop up, and you'll find all kinds of other people that are doing it that you're unaware of. And it's like that. I'm always trying to share that artist, show their stuff like, hey, get more eyes on this. Like, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. Because the more of us there are, and the more of us working towards the same goals, which is to perfect our craft and to make cool pieces that people want to collect and to bring more eyes to it, the more the merrier, you know?
That's exactly what we try to do. We try to make sure everybody gets a shot. And that's what partially Toy Chat's has evolved to, is we want to have artists come on the show. We want people to not only just hear us talk to them, be like, oh, cool. It's more like, this is you. This is your story. And we're helping write a chapter in that book.
Yeah.
And it feels good to be a part of that. And
Absolutely.
I feel like it's a necessary thing. Like, my mom was a nurse for many, many years before she passed. And one of the things she was always is service. She lived a life of service. And she cared about the people she brings on. Like, I have been able to build relationships with everyone because Smitty has said, these are good people. If they know Smitty, and I've known Smitty for years, I'm like, then they're going to be awesome.
Right. It's a good judge of character, yeah.
Exactly. And then Bob is like headlong jumped into the creatives, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because he's
you got bit by the bug, huh, Bob?
Shit,
we sunk a good hook in him.
Yeah.
3 cases later.
I tell you.
Yeah, I'm getting towards the end there. Now it's just trying to trade and get the last, I think, probably less than 20 I need.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're rounding the bend.
Getting there.
Nice.
Definitely getting there. I'm trying to finish it up that way I can make some moves and put money aside to get 3 more cases of Series 2 when they come out.
Yeah, that's it. We got to be prepared. At least we know it's coming. Fingers crossed to get my name in there.
But
that's what I don't want to hear. There's 7 boxes.
I know. I was like, Plastic Pizza said took 7 boxes.
7 boxes. Shout out to Plastic Pizza, because if it wasn't for them, they took care of me, because of course you end up with a lot of duplicates on 7 boxes. So they sent me a ton, and it really helped fill me up. And then by the time I was done with that creative show, I had the complete set. Fat Dad's, shout out Fat Dad's Toys. He gave me my final card, the last one to slide in there. And that's a good feeling, King Bob, I promise you. So we'll help you track down those 20.
I can't wait for that day to come.
It's coming.
That's cool. So Plastic Pizza, we have to get you on.
Ghosty and Angel Jacob were the big ones for me. They got me the bulk of the
Angel Jacob. He I don't know how many complete sets he
did 8. He did 8, but he also did 2 full sets.
Right. Yeah, wow. 2 full sets. I have a box. I have an unopened box still that I'm gonna
I have 2 sealed boxes that I'm just sitting on.
Smart man. Smart man.
But that, for me, that's also one of the things about this community and stuff, like seeing how much you've just grown and blown up on the scene, like over this last year.
It's been crazy. I mean, I released the donut at the end of May last year, so it hasn't even been a year.
Yeah.
From the donut.
Yeah.
Ooh, so your anniversary is coming up.
Yes.
Right. But yeah, how big of a name has he made in a year? Gonga is the same way. Watching how big his name has gotten over this last year. I mean, he's been in the game longer, but he never got that,
recognition,
that traction, that recognition.
Yeah, he really just caught fire.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's like, I mean, for me, it's, hey, I know these guys and I've seen them, and it's like, you want to see you get better and better. And, and it's like, it's cool, like just saying, yeah, I know him. I can reach out. I mean, I can reach out and text him, and he'd answer. And
it's a weird feeling, like for myself, and I've touched on it before, where it's a lot about perspective, and we all have our own different perspective on the world and our own different perspective on ourselves. But it's like to know that like somebody's excited that they know you, when it's like, I'm just as excited that I know you, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just as excited that I can reach out and text you. Like it's just real. It's all very real. And I can't lie. There was a while, like when I was first getting into it, it was kind of like just waiting for the rug to get pulled out from underneath me. Like, I'm always a bit, again, I'm a salesman, so I think everything's a put together. I don't trust nobody. And I've just never met such a wide group of people that I really felt like I could just kind of be myself, and hey, here's my art. Let me show you what I'm doing. Let's work together, and let's spend some time together. Let's just chat, whether it's in person or it's on a live. And that's why I love these cons, man, because I was never that guy. I would never go fly across the country to a big convention, never in my life. Now I don't think I can miss one. I would be very sad if I don't get to go.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. You're gonna lose that feeling of the salesman thing, because I came from the same background in New York. I worked for hedge funds. I worked.
Yeah, you know the game.
I know that game, and it's like people were like, "Oh, he could sell snow to Eskimos." And when I moved away from that business and started, when you see it, because it's not a bad business, but it's
but that's what it was, with the COVID layoff and everything. It took a good I was 8 years into the game, and so it took a good 6 months where I finally realized it was like some Stockholm syndrome stuff. You start falling for your captors, and then I realized I was a little brainwashed. I was doing some things over there that probably weren't good for my soul.
Exactly. I drank the Kool-Aid and
yeah, exactly. And it's a locker room mentality, and it's just not a healthy place to be.
And you can just see in just you, it's this positive energy comes out of you, and it's one of the things I love when we have people on the show that just promote that love. It's like I feel it, and I'm no bullshit. Smitty knows, Bob knows. I tell everybody like it is. I wear my heart on my sleeve when I talk, especially because this show is not just my baby in the sense that it was an idea that I didn't think was going to blow up. Yes. I had two very good friends and a very good support system that pushed me into this to help me realize this dream. And as much as I kept saying, I remember after that, before the first episode even aired, I was like, oh shit, this is going to suck and we're going to fail. And then I said, no, I can't think that way.
No, it is a shift in your own, and that's why like the self-deprecation and stuff, you got to work past it. You got to find a way to present yourself, and you got to really believe in yourself. And I think for me, it's not lost on me how blessed I've been. So it's probably easier for me to be maybe a little less critical of my own work, or a little bit more willing to share it, because I have had such positive, successful results from the things that I've shared and that I've put out. So it's probably easier for me to not be like, oh, my shit sucks, because I've been able to sell some pieces, you know what I mean? And I've been able to have a pretty good buzz generated by the things that I make. But that doesn't mean I'm not pushing myself constantly, and that doesn't mean I'm not, if anything, I'm pushing myself more, because then I got to raise the bar more and more. Plus all these other artists are raising the bar more and more and more. You will get left behind in the dust. I promise. If I'm not on my P's and Q's a year from now, it's Mister Mento who, because we're not in competition, but you have to be able to compete.
It's evolution. It's an art. It's you're always, as an artist, your art form evolves.
When you want it to. You want it to.
You don't want to be complacent, like you just said. You don't want to be complacent. A year from now, my goal is to get everybody that we had on this first year back on the show. A year later, to have them I want you to come back to us a year from now. I
would love to do that.
And I want to have you on here, and I want to have you tell me Dre, Smitty, Bob, man, this shit is blowing up. Look at this. Remember what I was doing before? I got this now. And I've collabed with 30, 40 people since then. And I want to hear some positive stuff, because I could tell, since you have that mentality that you don't want to settle.
Never.
I'm gonna see. I already know we're gonna push you to the stars, bro.
Well, and that's the whole goal, is to just keep pushing ourselves and pushing each other. And I've yet to see anything bad come from any of this. That's where I'm really at. If I step back, okay, get out of my bullshit. Yeah, I love toys. Yeah, I love art. Yeah, I love all this community. But just live in reality for a second. What's the pros? What's the cons? I can't think of the cons. I mean. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's tough when you've been sanding something for 3 hours, or you were casting pieces and they're failing and all that stuff. But it's that those don't even make the cons list, because the pros list is so large. It's just been all good for me.
I like hearing that. So I want to hopefully, do you have any teases for us that we could see? We saw a couple of things.
I do. I'll show.
And then I've got a follow up to that after.
Hold on. Go
curious. Ahead. Go ahead. No, I was just curious. You said, what was the thing you had to ask him?
Smitty? I was curious. Because you mentioned recently being in the Clutter Show.
Yes.
do you have any other shows that are coming up that
Look
you're
at
a
that.
participant in?
I can kill two birds with one stone here because I haven't shown off any of this yet.
And
which I've been meaning to, but like I always am worried because like especially on custom. So I'm doing the Sauce Drop show. Sauce Drop's the Mutant show. I want to say it's the 5th through the 7th in Sacramento. Don't quote me on those dates exactly. I wish I would have wrote it down. But so it's on the Mad spray can.
Okay.
And it's kind of broken in pieces right now, but I'll show you just a little bit of.
Ooh. Oh, that looks dope. Yeah.
So there's still quite a bit of work to get done on him. Thankfully, I've got the next few days off. This kind of his arms here.
Is that a paintbrush? Like a
yeah. So it comes. So that's how the piece is his hands are paint brushes. I've got a different idea for it, and then his feet are like little erasers. But I'm gonna turn mine into like little sticks of butter, and it's more or less he's like his chef coat.
I love it.
And we're gonna give him a chef's hat, cover his top because normally this is his spray can.
Mm-hmm.
So
dude,
he's kind of like the mutant baker of Mister Mento's bakery.
See, I could picture a whole bunch of cool toys coming right out of that, like the Mad Baker. You know, the donut being like having a mutant donut, and then like a mutant like cannoli. A mutant cake.
There's so many opportunities, and I've been waiting for a chance to do something like on that bakery theme, you know, because I always joke like, you know, we're in Mister Mento's bakery, or I gave Dr. Plops the keys to Mister Mento's bakery, and you know, here's what he baked up, and it kind of keeps like some of the fun going for me. So as soon as I saw this piece and Sauce Drop, shout out to Sauce Drops, he's been a huge part of my toy journey, especially early on. He predates the donut itself. I mean, he helped me with my very first toy, which was the awful waffle piece, which was the waffle and the syrup drips around it. So I mean, he's been one of my supporters from day one. But he invited me to this show, and I was like, I'm gonna make that guy a baker. And I've been busy, but thankfully I've got it all primed and ready. Now it just needs a few more details, 3D print some parts, and then get to painting. So I got to get that done ASAP. And then the PD show. Shout out to Fat Dad's Toys. I got a piece for the PD show. I don't have it down here to show you, but that's going to be a fun show. And there's a lot of really cool artists involved in that, and I'm excited to see what everyone's done with it.
Very cool. Are we going to see you on any other lives coming up besides? Like I know you've been doing kind of like a tour. Like, is there any other live?
Yeah. I'll be on. What is it? The Miscast Mayhem show, the Booze and Buddies Miscast Mayhem show. I'll be on there briefly. Last time, you know, it was like an all night thing. I was in there for like 10 minutes. They had to kick me out because whenever I'm in, I just want to stay. You know, I wish there was a way I could like control it so they can't kick me out. But so I'll do that. I'll more than likely do. I did a one with the Collab Club, Dr. Plops and GDM, where we did like a live sculpting thing, and it was kind of like a tester just to kind of get a feel for, you know, what would we all do on a live. But I really like the idea, that concept of showing some of the behind the scenes, like the actual sculpting, which I get might not be as interesting to everybody, but I think there's a place for it.
Definitely.
And
I've got
this was one of the original, like the original collab
Priscilla's art one is gorgeous. Her painting just gets better and better and better, and the detail and the small. Oh, she must have those Jason Freeney, you know, I'm talking about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids glasses.
Yeah,
just zoom, enhance. She must. No, you know what? Because I asked, Zard Apuya.
Yes, I do. He's going to be on the show.
Oh, great. I love Zard. He's such a great guy. But I had asked him, I remember when I met him at Decon, I asked him, I was like, do you use those little Freeney glasses? He's like, no. And I was just like, man, like I thought I had good eyes with a steady hand.
Bro, I've seen all his stuff that he gets to do with the Japanese food, and I'm just like, bro, you had to have done something when he did like the ramen, where the ramen was coming out of the thing. I was like, yo, how do you get the detail like
they
in
all
there to
are
make just
from the colors to the textures to just and then the way he edits all his videos makes everything look so cool. And
Shout out to Zard because he's actually he's coming on the show. One,
good.
Two, Zard actually I got introduced to him by my very best friend and close friend Eric. He actually had bought a piece of his years ago in New York. That was like at an art gallery because he lived in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
And he had seen it there, and then he was like, "Dre, you got to get this guy on the show." And he was like, "He's like, I bet you can't get this guy on the show." Those his exact words to me. I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Okay." I messaged him, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll be on the show, no problem." And then I was like, and then my friend Eric's like, "Dude, could you see if he could get me that coffee cup, the New York coffee cup, bro?" He's now working from my friend. He's building a custom piece.
It's so not what you know, it's who you know.
In fact, and it just took me sending him a message after having Alex kind of prime the handle for me.
It doesn't help. It never hurts having Alex as the buff. I mean, because of Alex, like that's one of the many amazing experiences I had back around in decon back in November is going to an escape room with Zard and One Eyed Girl. It was amazing. The most fun, and Alex, of course, the most fun that we had. I'd never done one of those escape rooms before, and they told me like, "Oh, you're gonna get hooked." They were right. Like I haven't done one since. Like I almost feel like I got to reserve it just for them. But like I think about it often.
Look, guys, see now you know. You guys got him hooked into getting to making his own toys, and now you got him hooked on escape rooms.
That's it. Well, now plastic pizzas got me hooked on pizza boxes. I got a whole pizza box collection going now. Like there's just like all this cool shit that I'd have never been exposed to that now I'm just like, yeah, give me more.
Plastic says you're gonna have a book tour coming up.
That's right. We have a book tour. We have also that's another thing I didn't even mention. We've got a Plastic Pizza Mister Mento beer canvas collab coming. So be ready for that. Shout out to Beer Canvas too.
I'm gonna have to talk to some people about y'all getting an art book together of all your stuff. I think you guys should do like an art book called like we did the creative cards. So Red, I know you watch this show. I'm gonna message you. I think you need to work on an art book.
Just do it.
Knowing Red, he's probably like, "Oh, I'm just into publishing on the book right now." You know
he's like, "Dre, don't." He's like, "You're slow." I've been doing that since last year. Watch him tell me something like that.
So the books are getting printed this weekend.
Exactly. Like I'll send you your signed one. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But honestly, like that's my brain was like, I would love to. I used to love coffee table books.
Yeah.
And I have art books of anime like that are like so obscure, but and I have some comic book art books that I love of my favorite artists. And it'd be kind of cool to see you guys all in one spot.
I agree 100%.
Like open a book and just see a couple of your pieces that are like prime pieces.
Yeah, right there in the book, high quality shots, a whole bunch of artists in there. I would be for it 100%. I love that idea.
If that idea doesn't exist, Red, I'm beaming it out into the universe.
That's right.
Mento and I are like this. We're talking to you, bro.
That's right.
Like if it's not in the works already, it needs to be. Exactly. Oh, I love it. He's a horror fan too. Oh, I love it. When you can call that out.
Just because you said that, I have this super cool pin from the Spicy Donut. It's a red rum elevator.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
And then if I...
Oh, snap.
How funny is that?
That is awesome.
We live in Denver, so we're not far from Estes Park, where they have the Stanley Hotel. So we go up there every once in a while from the movie.
See, I love these things warm my heart, folks. Look, I made a new friend, and I'm happy, and that's why we do this, folks. Mento, I know you're awesome, and I know that it was great having you on. I need to know where we can find. I know where I can find it through just talking to you personally. But where can anybody watching the show that's new to like collecting and has been inspired by seeing your stuff buy some of your merch?
Yeah, check me out. I'm most frequently on Instagram, like 99% of the day. I'm on Instagram as at Mister Mento, MisterMento. I've got a really cool space that we've been building on Facebook, which is Mister Mento's Collector's Corner. It's been a really cool spot for people to come and show off their collections. And we did our first giveaway yesterday, and we might just be to the point where we got to do the second giveaway based off of the growth that we've had so far.
Wow.
And so that second giveaway would be cool. We're going to do a custom DIY the creators card, maybe even a triptych or something like that. And then Plastic Pizza's gonna give away one of our network exclusive shirts from the Pizza for Breakfast drop. Those are still available on the network app right now. I think they're up there for
just about to
another
ask
week. They come in a custom Mister Mento pizza box. I mean, it's cool. It is cool. So if you get a chance, get on there and get yourself one.
So you're hearing all this, folks. Why are you watching anymore? Get on his Instagram and go do it.
And then I'm always available through DMs. Instagram, DM. Shoot me a direct message on Instagram. That's probably one of the quickest and easiest ways to get hold of me. I'm always down to chat. I'm always down to share anything I know. I'm always down to spitball ideas, talk about future collaborations. I can't lie, I've got myself pretty busy right now, but I don't have any issues with making plans for the future.
See, I like that. That's where you guys, if you want to reach out to him, he's very approachable.
Always.
He's very awesome. I've had the pleasure of talking with him a lot today and in the past, and I'm going to keep talking with him going into the future. So please, folks, feel free to reach out. Just don't blow up his DMs. Just don't blow him up. They'd be like, I love your stuff. You can say you love his stuff, but give him some chance to breathe. And
and then get over into the collector's corner and show off all the stuff you love.
Exactly. When you buy his stuff, go to his Facebook group, join that group, and then show off what you got.
It's really proven to be a pretty fun space. I wasn't sure what to expect from Facebook, and like how to kind of like nurture a space for everybody, but it's really starting to grow into something super cool.
I'm definitely gonna have to join that and check that out.
Yeah,
I'm not interested.
I just joined, so it's fun.
Oh, good. So we're gonna
good looking out.
I'm gonna have to join.
I joined over the weekend.
Skadoots told me about it.
Overachiever. Shout out to Skadoots. She did a great job of making sure as many people knew about it as possible.
Can't wait to get Skadoots on. We have Skadoots coming up too.
She's great. She's great.
So it's gonna be awesome. So again, Mento, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
I've loved having this conversation with you. It's just you're such a genuinely good dude. It's like I love this. It makes my day so much easier. And so
I was definitely excited. Like from when I woke up, I was like, "This is gonna be cool." So it's hard to focus at work today because I'm just like, "Let me get home, get ready, let me get prepared for this stuff." And so it's lived up to all of my expectations.
Well, I appreciate that. That's actually the highest compliment I've ever been given, and I think we can all say thank you for that compliment. Because
hell, you invited me on and you let me talk about myself. I mean, hey,
that's what friends are for, man. We love this.
That's
a
quick way to get to my heart.
Hey, dude, listen, we are the most real friends you're going to have here. We love having people on. You come into the dungeon, you may not leave.
Hey, that's all right. This is the worst dungeon I've been in.
Trey knows I'm usually all smiles when one of the people I know and I like and I support come on, because it's like, once again, it's helping push and elevate and somebody that I care about how well you do.
Yeah, no, you've been a really great supporter of mine, and I can't thank you guys enough for giving me an opportunity to come on for you guys. I know you guys have picked up my pieces. Shout out to Evil Ghosty with the pin drop. I'm still geeking over those. You holding up your Mento Kia bottle. I'm just like, man, this is, it's things like that where it's almost surreal to me, that I'm just this guy in my house making this stuff, but I've been able to, reach out to so many people and develop real friendships with so many people from it. Like, I'm just blessed, blessed.
Bro, and that's why I told you, I spoke to Mento, and before we end this show, I want to let you guys know, every artist that we have coming on the show, I have requested that we get a DIY card. Here's why. I want the artist to have a memory and for us three to have a shared memory of how much fun we had. And I've already peeped out some frames. Bob and Smitty gave me some good ideas of where to get it from. We're going to get every artist to come on and make the card, and then we're going to slide it in, and I'm going to put like a little placard on it that says their name and the date. So that way they're going to be on the wall, and I'm going to try to have it on the wall behind me. Obviously, next year it'll probably be in a different space because we'll be moved to a different place. But it will be a piece that will be in this house, and then I want people to know how important it was that you took your time to come on here. And the truest way that we can flatter you is by showing your art off.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
That's how I want to do it. So
I really love that idea.
And I know I have to reach back out to Ghosty and Alex, and that's something separate. But as always, my friends, thank you guys in the chat for coming in and spending your time with us. Sorry we were a little bit late today, but hey, it happens. Life happens sometimes. But thank you to Mister Mento. Shout out to him, how amazing he is. And thank you. And from Bob and Smitty and myself, watch your heads on the way out of the dungeon. As always, my friends, stay geeky, y'all. Peace. And now we wait.